Hi, my name is Kazim Kodri, and welcome to this new episode of Rant Out My Head. And today's topic will be the impact of your environment on you and in respect to your personality. So, we'll be focusing on how it impacts your environment impacts your personality. So, first of all, what is your personality? So your personality is the way you think. What I understand your personality to be is the way you think, the way you behave, and how you feel. And this can be determined by your reaction to people. So your interaction with people, sorry, how you interact with other people will be the way to define your personality. Because sometimes it's hard to actually define your personality if you have not interacted with other people. You can't determine a personality in a closed environment. So, what is an environment? In this context, an environment relates to people, the people around you, your physical location, your digital location. Your digital location, in this sense, can be the people you follow online, what interest you picked online, what social media, not what social media platform you use, or how you use these platforms and what you do with them, and also your experiences, events, traumas, and everything affects the regular human. Before I move on, I want to just give you this simple scenario of how personalities are being formed. So when I was quite young, there's this example they always give. They say if you have four friends, they all contribute 25% to what you are. So 25% to what your personality is in this context. So if I have I have four friends that are extroverts, they love to talk, and they are people person, I would eventually at some point probably be an extrovert or feel more easy to talk to people than how introverts are. That's if I was an introvert before I had the four friends. So there are two major influences of the environment on our personality. So how the environment impacts our personality. There are two major ways it goes. So we have through culture and through school. So for culture, how does it affect? If you remember, the basic definition of culture is the way people live and understand. So how the environment affects our culture, it changes how we do things. So earlier I explained that our personality is the way we think, behave, and feel. So if I am around people that have this positive mindset constantly, in every way it rubs off on me, then I have the same positive mindset. So that's my thinking and still part of my culture, the way I live. So positive mindset determines how I react to other things, you understand? So for school, not everybody went to should I say, a Western school or a more physical school. Some people learned on the street. Yeah. But there's a way the school affects who you are. Because if you find yourself in a school where violence is constantly seen and everybody just gravitates to violence, it has a way it rubs off on you. It can either be in two ways. It can be in a very good way and it can be in a bad way. So in a good way, my own good way would be you hate violence because of what you have seen. But the truth there's always some level of trauma it puts back on you due to that environment. Remember when I was giving the explanation of what environment means in this context, and I mentioned trauma and events, because maybe you might have seen how violence cost someone's life, and you're like, I don't want to be involved in any level of violence. It now creates you to this kind of person that you avoid violence as much as possible because of your experience with violence. Also, there are other scenarios. So maybe you school in an environment where violence is the norm, and you yourself find yourself being violent to other people in every other part of your life. So that's another example. So being an introvert or an extrovert or a sanguine or whatever class of personality has a way it reflects back to your environment. So most introverts, most not all, grew up in an environment where they are, maybe the elder ones around them always have to tell them that they have to take permission before their opinions are being heard. So in their mindset, they already built a wall that, okay, I have to get permission before I can speak. Indirectly, it now affects when they're having normal conversations, because most people just want to talk. For someone like me, I just love to talk, you understand? And sometimes I go beyond this is what I'm supposed to be talking about, but the thing there is, I just get this freedom because I didn't grow up in such an environment that I was restricted with what I should talk about, you understand? That's why I find it easy personally, and I think I'm an extrovert and a people person, I guess. Then also, this concept whereby if you want to actually be successful, you create an environment of success around you. So I didn't just say you surround yourself with success, but you create an environment of success, because the environment here still covers the people, your physical location, your digital location, the experiences you have. So if you are having experiences of failure constantly, they're not saying to succeed you don't fail, but if you find yourself in situations whereby you constantly fail at things, you have a skepticism to being successful. That's just one truth, because if there's something I know about myself, if I fail at something most of the time, I just leave and focus on things that I'm very good at, because I should build on my weaknesses, but why should I always bother myself about my weaknesses too much when I can improve on my strengths? Not saying I shouldn't do better with my weaknesses, but the fact still remains I should become stronger so I will be able to adequately focus on my weaknesses. You understand? So you have to understand that you want to be successful, you surround yourself around success. So you probably get a mentor, have friends that are successful, because if you say you want to be successful and you're around people that are technically losers that don't really care about these things constantly, you are technically taking one step forward and two steps back, because even if you are trying to get that drive to success, these people constantly try to drag you back, because your friends have a way of playing a role to how you actually live your daily life, if you understand it very well. Now, there are other situations where your behavior affects people around you. So, like for example, if this happens, and most people don't accept, but if a father beats his wife, so like a husband beats his wife, sorry, and the child sees this thing constantly. Now, emphasis on constantly, because there's a way our brain works. So once we see something, it builds. If we see something for the first time, it builds a part in our head, a neuron part in our head, and the more we see that thing, it becomes stronger. So if a child sees his father beating his mother, the child might not like it at that moment, might be crying, but it has actually already built something in the child's mind, which can be good or bad. So the child might grow up and say, I don't want to beat my wife, and the child might grow up and feel beating my wife is a normal thing, based on the kind of environment his father already created when he was young. So you have to understand that there are impacts of your own personality or your own actions that has a role to play on other people's personality. Because there was this research that said if a son that sees his father beating his mother is more likely to beat his wife, because when you're young, your brain still doesn't understand very well what is right or wrong, because your brain your conscious mind might take it as wrong, but your subconscious mind might be like, it's right, or it might not even conclude that debate in the head at that moment, and you just grow with that, and at some point you just find yourself doing it, not knowing that it was actually initiated by what you felt earlier. And also there are like examples whereby, let's just say you have an elder brother that, okay, let me use something that happened to me when I was actually younger. I'm a software developer, and I always saw my cousin then building a website, and that was when I grew the interest of actually learning how to build a website, because I saw him doing this and I actually liked it. So that you have to understand that, okay, because of what I saw, I I fell in love with anything that related to computers and the digital world generally. And I picked my niche of building websites because of what I saw at the beginning. So there's all these simple things we do has a way of actually getting to impact another person's personality or life. You understand? So situations whereby if you want to be more successful, you get yourself around success constantly, because you can't I mentioned this earlier, you can't find people that are failures or are losers, and you find one successful person among that person, and that person still keeps these people around him for more than a year, 2, 3, and that person still becomes successful. The person will join the bad one, because majority carries vote most of the time. We've mostly take to what people, majority of people do around us most of the time. It's not every time, because there are exception cases, but this happens more frequent than other cases. Now, don't forget, environment is not just restricted to your physical environment, the people around you, the culture around you. This is your environment, and they have a bigger role to play on your personality, and at some point down the line has a bigger role to play on your career and what you choose to do with your life. You understand? But in next episode, we'll definitely be talking about how environment affects our career paths or our career choices. Thank you very much. And don't forget, if you have any suggestion, drop it down. And if you're listening to this via Anchor, you can drop a message, a voice message, and I'll definitely listen to it. And if you're listening to it through any other outlet, you can just drop a comment. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.